Hey, welcome to the second course video for the song Dangerous by Sleep Token from their album Even in Arcadia. I'm musically malnourished and you're on my journey to go deep and wide in discovering new music and artists. These videos, we do a deep dive into the lyrics and meaning behind the music. Now, when it comes to this song, it is hard in first listen because there is so much from Sleep Token's past that seems to address a relationship, like between him and one other person. Now, I do feel like there's a bit of a shift in this album at a certain point that seems to speak to maybe a new love in his life. But there is obviously, especially with this run of songs here, him kind of breaking the fourth wall, seeming to speak to the fans. But it could also, I think you can point them both ways because there is some sort of relationship with the fans or those, as in the previous song, I think, that show themselves as true believers but actually are not, that kind of seem to turn on him. And so I really like with this song running with the idea of him continuing that line of speaking to fans, speaking to this relationship he has with them. But I do think that songs like Provider begin to take a bit of a different turn. We'll see as we get there. I did want to mention, because one of the first things within verse 1, which we'll go ahead and look here, this out of my mind across the line, I wanted to look at a comment from Skedaddle Baker. And I really enjoyed this. This was on my second course video for Past Self. Let me see, what's the best view here? Yeah, this will work. She said, I think you're spot on with a lot of it, but I think Dance on the Line, again, this was from Past Self, is more about the line between him and the fans, enjoying the music and connecting emotionally while not crossing the line into parasocial relationships like some fans have before, the faithless true believers who dox them. And so tying into this verse 1, I'm curious if he's speaking about that same line. He says, I wish I could have known that look in your eyes would echo in mine and go back out of my mind across the line. When was the last time I felt like this? Dark desire and tainted bliss, which is kind of this idea, again, of even in Arcadia, this place of bliss, but it's tainted. And if it's this idea of this look in your eyes, it's going to echo in mine, go back out of my mind, across the line, I feel kind of gives this picture of him toward the crowd. But if you want to take it in either way, it could be him toward another individual, this look echoing in his eye. And so, yeah, let me know your thoughts on that. But it was strange to me following up Past Self, this reference of line, this reference of dancing, which were things in Past Self. I feel like there's probably a connection there, this continuation of this kind of narrative that he's telling. Then it says, it's like you're dangerous to me. I notice every time we meet. I feel the ground beneath my feet giving way. You've got me talking in my sleep as if you're conquering my dreams. You have awakened what's beneath again. Now, again, this could be a new relationship and these things that he's experiencing and feeling that he had talked about in the previous albums. So that's fine. You can run with that interpretation. But it could also be this, we understand some of the pitfalls that can come with fame and being in the public eye, especially if you're somebody who's already kind of had certain struggles with loving yourself. Do you wish that you loved me? None of those things are secret from Vessel's writing, and have been trying to do something new within yourself, evolve, become a better person, learn some things that maybe some of this public eye and the anxieties and things that can come across along with that, even though you're just trying to create music, you're just trying to do what you love and but it can just create this kind of turmoil. And plenty of music artists have talked about like hitting that success and thinking, oh, I know that like if I can accomplish this, I'm going to feel a certain way. And then they accomplish it and are like, oh crap. Is this really what I was wishing for? Because this doesn't feel like I thought it was going to feel. And it's this mixture. And he talks about that in other songs about like recognizing how blessed he is, where he's at and what he's accomplished, and not wanting to complain about it, but also understanding the challenges that come along with it. And so this could be this like crowd, these people it's kind of like you're dangerous to me. And when we meet, I feel the ground beneath my feet giving way, like these old things coming back, and me just kind of getting lost in it as well. Talking in my sleep makes me think of generally, talking in your sleep to me brings this thought of just like all consuming, right? Like even when you're sleeping, you're dreaming of it and it's across your mind. And then obviously there's this idea of almost like tossing and turning and speaking because your mind is so consumed. As if you're conquering my dreams, you've awakened what's beneath again. Verse 2, well, I thought I could resist you, but something in me just can't help but insist. So like I'd want to walk away, but something in me must insist to blur the lines just one last time. So when's the last time you tasted blood? What would it take to stem the flood? Which these begin to point back as well, which is why I think you could take it into a relationship standpoint of so many songs, have talked about that idea of biting, of knowing what you want. So here you can have me. Let's see. Yeah, see, this calls back to a few of them. Regardless of the pain involved, Vessel has offered blood to subjects before in the offering and hypnosis, but I know you've got a taste, so just take a bite of me and sink your teeth, split my skin, no, make me bleed. I will do so and will do so again. I'm going to avoid that spoiler. Vessel is offering to continue this practice as he perpetuates a relationship he acknowledges as dangerous. He intuits that there is an appetite for blood that he may have to satiate. In respect to the interpretation that Vessel addresses the fans of sleep, token here, he could be asking how much pain and blood he will have to spill in order to satisfy his audience. And then he goes in, I am caught in time like clockwork beneath the permafrost. I might lose my mind, back to back with oblivion, and you might breathe that burning breeze through paradise for me. We're going to look at the annotation in this in a second because I found it interesting. It's funny with, understanding and seeing more of Sleep Token, weaving in video game references, movie references. Now he's got me on this like, what do you call it? Scavenger type hunt. So when I see clockwork, I'm like, oh, okay, I know Stanley Kubrick has an old movie called Clockwork Orange. And so then I was like looking at, is there any connection to permafrost and Clockwork Orange? And then I see the word oblivion and I think Elder Scrolls Oblivion. From my search, there really hasn't been any connection there, but I don't know. It's just funny because anytime I come across a word that reminds me of a movie or a game, I'm compelled to go look. I think really with this idea, he's caught in time, like clockwork. So clockwork being clockwork just speaks to something that's kind of fixed, like it's going to happen. If you do something like clockwork, like you get up at a certain time every day, you have a cup of coffee, you eat the same thing for breakfast, you get ready, you're out the door, you operate like clockwork. And so he's seeing maybe this process is like clockwork beneath the permafrost could just be this idea of it being, again, frozen, caught in time, clockwork beneath permafrost. I might lose my mind back to back with oblivion. When I first heard that, I thought back to back, like you might get movies back to back or songs back to back. But as I was reading more into it, I really am convinced that it's this like back to back, like standing back to back with oblivion. It's almost this like connection to and any or working with, like oblivion has his back. So I don't know, I think that's more the idea though, this idea of being back to back with oblivion. Now this one was interesting. And you might breathe that burning breeze through paradise for me. Let's look at this annotation. Oops, sorry. The fame and fortune and increased scrutiny might drive Vessel insane. Our passion might breathe that burning breeze through paradise. It'll explain this more in a second. But he's still here writing and performing. To breathe a burning breeze through paradise elicits the imagery of traces of hell cutting through heaven, of there being no safety even in paradise, even in Arcadia, which seems to be the primary theme of the record. Though he's back to back with oblivion, with his dark thoughts and insecurities, this is how art is made. So yeah, that was what was reinforcing that idea for me of being back to back with oblivion. All right, and then we have a repeated chorus. And the outro, won't you show me how to dance forever? And again, past self, won't you dance on the line with me? Is maybe that like, how do I balance this thing, right? Maybe it's the idea of how do I create the art I want to create and still have people like follow me for it, even if I do something different, because obviously they've come under a lot of scrutiny from people that maybe enjoyed their previous works and don't enjoy what they're doing now. It could be this dancing between like, how do I keep making music and as my popularity is growing, but still maintain the anonymity I want to maintain and not let kind of this side of my life consume this side of my life. And it sounds like I want to keep doing this. I want to keep creating. I feel like I finally got some momentum behind me. I feel like there are a lot of people enjoying what I'm creating. And so like, show me if this is a song kind of to the fans, he's asking you like, help me, show me, like, how do we keep this dance going as we're dancing on the line? But let me know your thoughts on this song. Really fun song, very cool. Really enjoyed it. Would love to know your thoughts. Thanks for being with me for this one. Hope to see you in the next one, because we're eating good.